Wow. I didn't want to use an X-Acto knife or anything to cut the counter. Okay, we were so excited because today is Monday and we knew that it was going to be the day that our countertops were going to be delivered. They were delayed by just a couple of days, and so this morning I texted them saying, should I expect a delivery today? We weren't exactly sure because we actually have a really bad... What was that? Captain Myers. we are actually having a terrible snowstorm today and the roads are awful. In fact, the boys even got a home day because we actually had a snow day, and all the schools across our province are actually closed. So I didn't know if our countertops would come or not. They showed up. We got a knock at the door.
Yeah.
But I'm seriously stressing over this kitchen renovation.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we showed you 2 weeks or so ago that we chose from several little swatches that we actually went into the store and we picked what ones we thought would maybe go with some of the looks we were looking for the kitchen design. And we chose something really simple. We wanted something really minimalist. We wanted something white and airy because we weren't going to invest right now in putting in $5,000 to $8,000 actual countertops that would be real stone. We're trying to do this entire renovation under $5,000.
Right.
We already previously had purchased two very inexpensive under $100 countertops from IKEA. Problem with those is that we need more countertop than what we actually had. I had bought those on sale to do something either at the cottage or in our pantry laundry room where I knew we'd need a smaller amount. But since we decided to do the kitchen in this bigger room and we would have the kitchen and the pantry go side by side and work together as a whole, the countertop needs to be the same in both spaces or it's just not going to make a whole lot of sense. So we weren't going to have enough of the IKEA countertop. Everything is out of stock. You cannot get anything kitchen related anywhere. It's just awful right now getting stock. So I couldn't get any more of the inexpensive IKEA countertop, which we love. So we went and we chose from the swatches and we ordered $760 worth of countertop. The bar top for the actual island that we're building, which we needed to be 8 feet by 3 feet. So it needed to be custom because the standard size depth for a countertop is usually approximately 25 inches. So we needed it deeper than that, especially to house our great big white farmhouse sink. It was going to take a substantial section out of the countertop when we actually cut it into that space. Mm-hmm. But the countertops arrived and we just opened them up and the swatch piece looked a lot more of a simplistic pattern. The colors are the same, but we're not entirely happy with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does match the swatch. It really does. We weren't fooled by the swatch.
No, the swatch, just when you see multiple swatches and you see it in a section that's only 3 inches by, or 4 inches by 6 inches, and then you see it on a 3 foot by 8 foot piece, of course the pattern is going to look so much busier.
Right.
And so
I think we tried to compare the swatch to the piece that we had from IKEA.
So this is the IKEA countertop here. And they are about 25 1/4 deep, which is perfect for a standard countertop.
Right.
And it doesn't have the back rail, so we really loved the more like modern squared off edge.
Right. We're going to run tile on the wall anyways. So.
Yes, and so we selected, I'm trying to be very careful with these because we really only have exactly how many we need. So we selected this as our backsplash that would go up the wall. So it's going to kind of look waterfall from the countertop up the whole back wall of the kitchen.
And these really go together really well.
Really well. It's the pattern goes this way, but you get the idea. I'm trying to show you in the lighting with the camera here.
Right.
Okay, so this is going to be the entire back wall that's behind me here. And then we're hoping, since we got these on clearance and we only needed 5 boxes and we got 5 boxes, that we can get an additional 5 boxes to use this also in the kitchen or in the pantry room. So we're working on that right now.
Right.
Or something really, really close. Problem is, the real countertops showed up and look at how busy the pattern is.
Yeah.
We're struggling big time.
I mean, it's pretty.
It is a really nice countertop.
It really is.
And it's laminate. Like, really, what else can you ask for when you're not buying it in the stone, where you get to see the stone first? But I guess the swatch multiplied by the size of this is kind of like freaking me out a little bit. And the thing is that because we got these made custom, we obviously can't just return them. They weren't just a piece like this from IKEA. That's standard that people will buy again if it gets returned. So it's ours now. But we are really having a hard time with it. So we do have this squared off edge, which is very similar to the IKEA one. But if you see one pattern side by each now that we've opened both of them, it really is quite different. They aren't going to be in the same room. The IKEA ones are going to be in the pantry room.
Right.
And these ones are going to be one for the island. And then there's another piece on this side here that will be cut into two pieces, because that is going to be a piece on one side of the stove to my left behind me here. So this will be one side on the left here. We'll have countertop, the stove basically where I am, where it says stove, and then some more countertop on this side. And then this is going to be, of course, along that whole back wall. So I don't dislike it with this back pattern. I think, especially since this is more simplistic on the tile in the back, it's going to take away and keep that still looking really clean along the back.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just because this is on the floor and it's not up at that height, and we opened the box and it was just like so many lines.
It was very stark.
It's just very overwhelming compared to what we thought it was going to look like.
Yeah.
Something else is with the countertops that we didn't expect that was a little different than we had asked to have the countertop, have both sides of the countertop squared off like this, where we don't have the back sill. The piece that came for back behind the stove has the back sill on it. They call this the backsplash sill, I believe.
Right. So can you
really
push this
want
one
it
beside
to
so we
have
can
this-
really see?
Yeah, I didn't want it to have that back piece. I wanted it to be straight here. And if I rip it and I cut it all the way down to cut that off, because this is going to go against the wall, I'm not sure if then my countertop here is going to be too short compared to the depth of the stove.
Right.
And so I need to make some measurements and kind of see if I can swing that, because we really didn't want to have this back piece on it. And we really thought when we were ordering it that this was something in addition that you could order to have put on, and we didn't do that. So I'm not really sure why there's the sill on it, but something we now have to deal with because the countertops are here. You see them side by side now, you can really see that they're quite different. But I think in totally different rooms, maybe it won't be as noticeable as we're just kind of like staring at it plainly here.
So YouTube family, help us out. What should we do? Should they stay? Should we just take it as a loss and then see if we can find the IKEA, which is on the left side here, or stay with what we got on the right side here? Or do you think when Elysia's done with the whole build, will you even notice it? Will it even show?
The thing with just waiting until this is in stock and getting more of this means that our island would only be 2 feet deep, and it would not really be an island.
Right.
Or a workspace. It would just be like a narrow piece of countertop in the middle, which I think will look way too narrow compared to doing it. Like, this is substantially, I know it's only a foot, but a foot difference is substantially different workspace than when you add that big length to it than
Right.
this narrow piece in terms of space on the floor that it's going to take up.
Yeah.
I know that you guys know from watching our channel that I have all of these details planned out.
Right.
And so I have our hardware and our backsplash and our countertop and our flooring and our rugs and a few other things, like things that are going to be in this space, all on my little inspiration board. And so when something shows up that you think it's going to look a certain way and then it looks completely different, it kind of throws off your overall vision of what the space is going to look like. And countertops are obviously a huge deal.
Yeah.
It's one of the main design elements that are going to be in the kitchen and pantry room. So we're doing this like below through. It's going to be a lot of countertop.
Yeah.
So yeah, struggle is real once again. So let us know, what should we do? I feel like I could, because these aren't cut and they're not touched, that we could resell these maybe on Marketplace or something and then order. But then again, we're waiting longer for supplies, and as things are being so delayed, I have no idea if we reordered how long new countertops would take.
Right.
If we would like picking from the swatch again and doing this over. This was the most simplified version that was closest to this one. There weren't that many options.
No, I really don't think that's sending it back, and
The colors are right.
the colors are
It's
right.
just really busy than what we thought.
Right, but we're keeping the busy in one room and the not so busy in another room. I think that you're not going to notice, and I know your design and everything is going to take away from the busy pattern, and it's going to make it beautiful.
I guess I just keep seeing the IKEA one next to the simplified pattern of the tile and how that would look very like waterfall, like I wanted it up the counter to the
That
back
was your
wall.
original vision.
That was my vision, but
Yeah.
I'm just not sure, like if I take this piece here and
Well, why don't
hold
we...
it up to this piece here, do you think I could still get that look? Okay, so the exciting thing is that the countertops did arrive, and whether I don't know what we're exactly going to decide here, but it means that we can actually do the proper measurements to be able to get the dimensions that we need to start building our cupboards finally. The wood's been here for a couple weeks now. We've just been waiting to be able to get the exact dimensions of these with the undersills on them to be able to make sure that we don't build the cabinets and then the countertops don't fit perfectly. So moving on to building cabinets. I'm so excited.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, and also we've been getting so many Instagram messages, emails, comments on our YouTube video. Can you please just tell us what rug you decided on? I think it's so funny that it's been such a struggle. And a few people were asking, why do we show the rugs? Why are we showing like decorating things when we haven't actually built the kitchen yet? But things for the actual finalized space are arriving while we're working on these other things. And so we're just trying to like get everything together and make sure everything is going to actually work. So that dining room area is going to be getting taken into the other room today because we're going to be building in here and doing the cabinets.
Well, and we showed it originally because it wasn't the right rug.
Yeah, it wasn't the right rug. So it showed up and we were like, this isn't right. Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? Should we keep it or not? So we've decided, the verdict on the rugs is that the original rug that we actually ordered, we actually sold to a friend of mine, and we are keeping the Oops rug. So we're excited. I think it's going to match the rug that you haven't seen yet that's going to come for the living room space hopefully this week. And we know already that the Oops rug is a really good match with the lighter rug with the colors that we're pulling in from that one that will go into the pantry space or the hall, something along those lines. And so I think all the colors together are all going to tie in, and we fell in love with the Oops rug. So the Oops rug is staying. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and for cheering us on. We wanted to update you on the countertops and get moving along with building the cabinets. So this week is going to be super exciting. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.